Welcome back to Freedom Algo. Give it a second here for everyone to pop in. Hope everybody's having a great day. I gotta fix a couple of these lines here. Sorry, I thought my microphone was about to fall over. All right. This big downtrend is not... okay, that level ended up not really getting respected. This big downtrend is not necessarily the best, as I'm going to explain momentarily here. Hey, good to see you, Project Panic. Good to see you, Daryl. Let's get it cruising right. Everybody's here. Smash the like button. Let's get off to a good start today. We're going for 50 likes. We're going high today. We're going for 50 likes. And our subscriber goal is 9 to get to 5760. We're setting high goals today. High goals. We gotta respect the fact that we hit the all-time high again today. So because of that, we're going for high goals. So let's take a look here at just this downtrend real fast so I can explain. Basically, after this move up and everything, we have a short-term trend here. And then it kind of looked like another short-term trend here. But then after this here, it kept going lower. So I drew this little channel as a possible separate channel. And then it gets another close outside, goes lower. But it keeps on doing this. It just keeps going lower. So at that point, I have to draw a wider channel. Because right now, it just keeps going down. And so it is possible that this wider channel was like this. And this is the close outside new low. But it keeps going lower, so I'm going to keep it wide for now. You can see the EMA getting respected, the 21 EMA here. We're not really getting above it. I mean, we get above it there for a second, but we just reject back down. So I'd be a little bit weary of taking a short all the way down here, but I want to wait and see what happens. Like if there's a really nice setup off of the channel, then it could still be a decent setup because we are looking to maybe clip this low here, which was the news release candle. So if you look at the news release candle here, the big candle, 106 ticks from the low to the high. That was the PPI release. And we haven't touched the low or the high of that. That's what those two blue lines are right there. The purple is just showing that you don't want to be trading during the news release. All right, let's take a look here. So I want to watch this for a second. I'll go over the trades in a moment for the day, but first I just want to watch this a little bit closer, give everybody a chance to get in here and say what's up. Again, this might have already been the close outside and move to a new low, so I'm not sure yet. I will move this channel if that is the case. I'm gonna basically let it tell me right here if that is the case. Because I'm not going to keep widening this channel. Because then it's not even going to touch these levels. And that's not going to be a valid channel. So that's kind of what I'm trying to show here. Now, if it rejects right here and it does respect this channel, then this channel is wider. If it doesn't, then it's probably the case that the way I had it was correct. And that was the close outside and a move to a new low. Jarvis, good to see you, fam. Good to see you. We do need to draw a short-term uptrend from this low. So we'll draw that real quick. Respect the short-term trends. That's the theme of today, everybody. Respect the short-term trends. Smash up that like button, everybody. Let's get it cruising. We're trying to get to 50 likes today. We are going to go hard, go to 50 likes. We're trying to get to 5760 subscribers. Yeah, so I don't think that is in play. So what I'm going to do is draw this back the way I had it. Like this. Okay, so even if this channel was in play, it's now been, now been obliterated. You can see coming down through the swing there, swing there, swing there, swing there. But now we are getting the close outside, new low. So that's what I was saying could be the case. So I think all downtrends have played out. So at this point, we might still go down, but it's not going to be part of some trend now. It's going to be part of something else. It would be something brand new. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. Matt, good to see you. We got two Matts here. We got Matt, aloha. We got other Matt. How many trades did I take today already? I took 3. I took 3 trades. I'll show you the ones I took. So I took this early morning one because I was here. I'm not usually here this early, but it was there, so I took it. So I took that second entry short. I also took this triple test up here. Really nice one. I didn't get a runner, unfortunately. I'm almost positive I took a screenshot of that one. Let's look real quick. Did I take a screenshot of that one? I think I did. Sometimes I have, sometimes I remember to get it off. Where is it? Let's see. Is that the one I took a screenshot of? Would have been over here. No, maybe I didn't take a screenshot of that one. I know I took a screenshot of one of them. No, it wasn't that one. Oh, here it is. I took a screenshot of that other one. That was just, but my runner ended up getting stopped, which was annoying. But I did take a screenshot of this trade right here, which I'll show. That is, so I took those 2, and then I took this red arrow short over here that I'll get to. So let me just talk. I'll talk about the price action, and I'll talk about it when we get there. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so yes, I focus on just trading price action and just trading the ES. That's what I focus on. And yes, in the link tree and in the description, you'll see this, become a price action trader. There's a link to this in the description and in the link tree. And it's $99 a month. And it has my full course. Everything is here inside the price action comprehensive course. I also have a weekly Zoom call. The weekly Zoom call is today. So right after the stream, we'll have a weekly live Zoom. That gets recorded and put in here. And then this is the full course. It's really comprehensive. Everything in here is broken down into modules. You can see like every section expands out. You can see this is minimized, and now I'll expand out section 8. And you can see there's a bunch of stuff in here. And they're all video based with transcripts and everything. And then also what I do is throughout the trading session, I have these posts. You can see this starting about 4 hours ago. And I start posting all of these different chart updates. So you can see how I'm looking at the chart, what I'm seeing, mapping it out, following along together. And then you get access to a premium Discord when you're a member of this too. And we have a full discussion happening over there throughout the session. And then I go live. That's how I do it. So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, and it's very specific on how I trade. So, all right, let's get into the trade setups. This morning, this is what the market looked like. We had basically broken up here into all-time high territory, and then we had another leg up. So you had this uptrend, close outside new high, reversal. This moved down, close outside new low, and then I drew this channel, and then we had this channel working higher, close outside new high, one more leg to a new high, second entry short. Really nice setup there. You have room to the EMA. It's not perfect because it's overall upward bias here, and you don't really know for sure that it's going to clip there. Now, if it came down just a little bit and gave us a lower high, I would have liked it a little bit more, but it didn't do that. It was also close to the news, but you had time. It was more than 15 minutes before the news release, so you'd had plenty of time to take that trade. So really nice one. Then we get the news release. then it goes a little sideways here, and we kind of form into a range. So you can see the midline down here kind of became, originally I had this as a tighter range, like I had a low kind of like this, where this blue line is, but then I eventually moved it down. So anyway, I was playing the range. There wasn't really any long opportunities. There is this one that kind of gave us a triple test, but it's a doji. Wasn't a good signal bar. So I waited, and then I got this short, and this short was really nice, and it was basically channel up, close outside, new high, and a triple test. You can see, you know, we closed down here, we closed here, and now we closed here again. The triple test, perfect range trade, plenty of room down, and that was a really nice one. Let me see. Then this one comes down, you get a first entry, close outside, a new low, second entry, but there's no signal bar there. There is a higher low here, you know, after the second entry, and like after the close outside, new low. It's tempting, but it's kind of in no man's land. Like you can't just, you're kind of picking a bottom there. It's sort of no man's land. You're not back to the trend line or anything that's like significant. So I just didn't think that it was worth taking anything there. And you can see it wasn't really a good setup anyway, because it's just congested. It does then break higher. And then this is all just super choppy. There's not a lot of good setups in here, unfortunately. Like there's no, you're kind of in no man's land in the middle of the range. You have to be patient and wait for the extremes. So all this stuff is just middle of range stuff. You can't really take any trades in there. And so we just have to be real patient and wait. There's a really tempting short right here, because you have this low and you get this move up and you get a close outside and a new high, and it looks like it's going to trap a bunch of longs. But I just don't think that it's a safe trade either. It's still in the middle of no man's land. You're not back to the range highs. You haven't come back to the range lows recently. It's just kind of sketchy. It ends up dumping all the way down, and then you get a nice long. Now, I didn't take this long, but it's nice. I was tempted on this one. The reason I didn't take it is because it's an engulfing bar trade, but you don't know for sure that it's going to close outside. And that's a challenge, because basically what happens is this. You get this move down, and this gives you a new low and a close outside all at once. It's a triple test off of this level. 1, 2, 3 triple test. It's also perfectly off of the third swing of this trend line. There's a lot of reasons to like taking along there. The challenge is, and it also, I like how it breaks one tick below and then reverses. So you could enter this one tick above this signal bar right here. One tick above this bar. It's an engulfing bar trade before this closes, and you would have gotten filled. Now, I was waiting for it to close because I wanted to be sure that it would close outside of the channel and give us the new low. But then I couldn't take the trade because I try to enter one tick above and we get an inside bar that doesn't fill me, so I had to cancel it. And so I couldn't take the trade. I didn't enter it on the engulfing, so I didn't take that one. But if you enter it on the engulfing, it's there, but it is risky because it's still in the, you don't know for sure that it's going to close outside. So not a perfect setup, but it's there. There's some reasons to like that one. Then you get a higher low, but it's too bearish. That's an unfortunate one. Now also, this higher low is too far away to take it anyway. I was really hoping that we would come back and test the trend line and get a setup, but we just didn't. So then it goes higher, and you just have to watch it go without you. Comes all the way up, breaks through the top of the range here. Then we kind of go into a little micro range up here. Now, these ones are a little bit more complicated, so let me try to explain. So we come down and make this double bottom right here. These two bars kind of create almost like a double bottom. So you could kind of look at this like a first entry, second entry short below this bar. That's why I wrote kind of. Second entry short, kind of. Because I mean, this is not really a swing low, but it is kind of like a double bottom. Really what it is that you have this up channel, close outside, and it's really one pullback, two legs to a new high. So you're probably going to get a reversal there. But it's a little risky. However, this bar is only 5 ticks. So you're getting in that bar with only a 7-tick stop loss. It's not that bad. Then you get a lower high. Now this is an equal high, but you can treat it like a lower high. So it's like a lower high after a second entry short. and a lower high after 2 legs to a new high. So the up channel had played out. You know, it's probably going to be like a failed breakout. So we might come down. The challenge here is that you don't have much room. If you measure from the low, there's only a point to the previous range high and only 1.25 points to where we bounced before. So you're really taking a risk there because you need 1.5 points to at least get a 4-tick scalp. So you need to rely on it going through the level, which it does, but it's not perfect. You know, that's something you got to be aware of. It's also like the first time that we've been back to the 21 EMA in a while. So we don't know for sure that it's not going to hold and turn into some sort of spike in channel there. You do have to be careful with that. But when it comes back up and rejects here at the same level, and then it comes up and then it rejects again, and we're just closing at or below this blue line, and then we get another one here. Now at this point, you pretty much have a trade that you kind of have to take this on range rules. Like you have 1, 2, you know, basically 3, 4, 5. Like you've tested this area so many times. It's basically more than a triple test. This created an equal high here. It's also from this low, a first entry, second entry short with an equal high. So it's like a lower high after a second entry short. Really good. You can treat the equal high like a lower high there, and it's a really bearish bar. So to me, I'm thinking we're at least going to come down here. We end up going much further. Now, I was originally thinking we were going to come all the way back down here, and we ended up doing that. Unfortunately, for me, I hope somebody got a runner here. The problem that happened for me was this. So I entered the trade where I'm supposed to, right here, right here. The problem was I got filled weird. So a few of my contracts got filled 1 tick further down, basically right here. So even though some of my contracts got filled at the right spot, they scalped out, and my runner entry was right here because they got filled 1 tick worse. So like my last 2 contracts on the runner, I had to move my stop to right here, which was 2 ticks below this bar instead of 1 tick, and then it came back and stopped me right there. So annoying, because if I had gotten a proper fill, this wouldn't have stopped me, and I would have had a sick runner. So I was a little annoyed by that, but you know what? That's just the way it is sometimes. But anyway, then it came down, and then we get close outside, new low, but this started to look like a separate channel to me, so I drew a separate channel here. It's a little unclear there. Close outside, new low. This does look like 1, 2 legs down. You can see kind of, measure it, kind of go like this. 1, 2. Kind of looks like 1, 2 legs to a new low and then a reversal. But it also looks like a trend of its own. So you got to be aware of that. And then you do get this higher low. So if you looked at this as 1, 2 legs to a new low and then a higher low, that's pretty good, especially because it broke through this channel here. And so now you're thinking, hey, we're probably going to try to make a new high after a break of this big channel. But ended up, you know, it's still risky because this downtrend was in play, and I'm thinking it might try to make a new low first. It ends up doing that eventually, but this would have worked. So I didn't take it, but it's there because that was the last trade that I took over there. All right, so then anyway, first entry, there's a second entry short here, but all inside bars, can't take it. You get the close outside, new high, reversal, and now you kind of have this other channel that started to work lower. There's not really any trades in here. There's some second entries, but the bars are bullish. Not good signal bars for the short side. Even here, I was thinking there might be a nice little short here, but you end up with a doji, so it doesn't qualify. Right before the stream, I was actually thinking about taking a short here, but then the bar didn't close the right way, so I couldn't take it. Then this goes down. Finally, you get a close outside, new low, and now we're going higher again. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see if we have any setups. This looks like it might be a... there's not really a... This is a weird looking channel. Give me a second. I don't love the way that's fitting. Probably like that. Close outside, new high, back in. So it looks like we're going to try to get up to the highs, because the one thing that still needs to play out is the highs up here. from this big channel. We never did fill the gap, which is down here, but that's okay. Not always going to happen on an all-time high type day. All right. Okay, Trader Geo, you're wondering long or short Bitcoin. I'm not looking at Bitcoin right now. I'm trading the ES on the 2,000 tick chart. If you're here, by the way, everybody, smash up that like button. We're trying to get to 50 likes today. Definitely subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 5760. And by the way, anybody who joins the paid community today can join the live Zoom call that we're having after the stream. Kind of like webinar style. Zoom, we can talk to each other. It's a lot more interactive than YouTube Live. And I'm gonna change the music real quick. Give me a sec. Let's go with. What one is this? Forget what I was playing on this one. Yeah, I'll play that one. A little chill vibes. Trader Geo. Here, let me see. Let me pull. I'll look at Bitcoin real quick for you. Why not? Let's see. Bitcoin. BTC. Okay. I'm looking at the daily chart. I'll take a look at the daily chart of Bitcoin. Give me a sec. I haven't mapped this thing out in a little while, so you're gonna have to bear with me a minute. I don't remember how I had this drawn earlier. Alright, let me see if I can figure out some sort of a... Okay, probably. Okay. We had a channel there. Let's see. These are going to be close. It's going to be close enough in this situation here, so just bear with me. That might not be a close outside, so or a close, yeah, so that's not a new low yet. So one second entry short failure. It's going to the upside. It might try to go lower. I'll be looking at it like this. Let me see, actually. Maybe like that. Maybe it's another leg to a new high. There's two ways to look at this. You could look at it like this. And that this is a close outside, move to a new high. But also, to me, it looks like a little bit of a wider channel in play. I mean, that generally is fitting the price action pretty decent like that. So I think, overall, to me, it's somewhat bullish on BTC, but there's no entry here from what I can tell. Like you would have probably, you know, there is a failed second entry short now where we are. So there's a possibility of this thing going pretty heavy up. We do need a new high on this overall up channel. So I would not be surprised to see us start going to test those all-time highs pretty soon. I would not be surprised. But again, this is a daily chart, so it could take several days for that to play out. We're at the all-time high on the ES. You know, we're at the all-time... I don't know if we're at the all-time high on NASDAQ. I didn't look, but... yeah, MJ, I am a musician. Yes, I am. This is my music that we're listening to. You can see here. It's under my name, Nick Bannock, so you can look me up. I have the quality turned down, but here, I'll turn it up so you can see. See? That's me. That's your boy. Alright, anyway. I play the handpan. I have a couple of handpans. That's what we're always listening to when I'm doing my streams, is my music. Because I don't want to get copyright issues from anyone else, so I just play my own music. And yeah, you're welcome, Trader Geo. You're welcome. You're welcome. Everybody here, smash up that like button. We only got 16 likes. abysmal. We need to get to 50 today. Let's go. Can we get to 50? Can we do it? We might go. We could easily go to the all-time high again today. We could easily do it. I mean, I will not be surprised. All right, let me see if there's any trade setups. Let me just expand these lines out a bit. I don't like to just extend them all right because it kind of, I just don't like to sometimes. So that's just me. All right. So we got the close outside, new high, one more leg up to a new high. Now it looks like it's going to reverse. But again, we're kind of in no man's land. We're back at the middle of that original range. Sort of had a failed breakout of the top and the bottom here. Failed breakout of the top, failed breakout of the bottom. Could also just mean that the range itself is a little wider. Very, very possible that the range itself is just bigger. But we're just going to let it play out and see what happens here. What was that level? Let's go back and look. If we look at that level from those lows, I mean, that does line up pretty decent. I think we're probably safe to expand this thing out now. So what I would do here is expand out to there. But what I'll do is I will put a blue line in where my previous range area was. Just to stay aware of it in case we come back. So basically I'm just replacing the levels. So you'll see in a second. I'm going to move this one. I'm just changing the range to there. And then this was our previous range high over here. So I just flip-flopped it to make the range bigger because I think that's ultimately what's happening. You can see it kind of lines up pretty nice right here. And then over these levels and then these levels. So I'm just treating this like an even bigger range now. Those blue lines I have to stay aware of because that was my previous range highs and lows. Some of these are just areas where you could sometimes get triple tests and things like that. That's also why I put them on. I just mark off the key areas with those. But I like the pink one to be my actual range. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. And we'll draw a short-term downtrend. Okay. Let that play out. If you got any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Sorry if I'm gulping super loud into the microphone. I apologize. It's classic right there. Classic. If you guys want to check out everything else, go ahead and look at the link tree. It's pinned in the chat. Free trading Discord. You can go to YouTube. You can check out some of this stuff here. Let me show you. Just go to... What the heck? I did not mean to click that. Go to videos. Scroll down and you'll find the price action course. It's 4 hours long right here. Check that out. Check out the Ninja Trader setup guide, the free guide here. Check out all these other videos if you want to check out the free stuff first. And then, of course, go here if you want to learn everything else I do. All right. Let's see. All right, let me see. So, Daryl, you asked, do I find my emotions change after one win on the day? You talked yourself out of the triple test lower high. You think you're being too conservative after one win. This is what I think is happening there. So, I'll say this. It's impossible to not have your emotions get affected in trading, right? You're always going to be affected by emotions. What is possible is affecting what actions you take despite the emotions you're feeling. So if I have a win, I'm going to be in a much better mood than if I have a loss. Like, I don't think it's possible to detach yourself, right? But you can be really, really careful. You can be really careful with how you react to things. So if I have, let's say my first trade is a loss, I'm going to be pretty annoyed, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm going to allow it to change the way I behave. So what you have to figure out, or what you have to work on, is is basically understanding and making sure that you have your confidence in check. And if you don't, like if you're feeling like you took a win, so it made you too conservative, and then you sat out of a perfect setup, which like let's be real, like this setup here is pretty much a perfect setup. Like in following the range rules, like it doesn't really get much better. You have a very clearly defined pretty much range happening, micro range, very consistent highs. And we are testing the lows there, and you get multiple opportunities here. Like after these moves, you then come up and get this equal high to this one. Like uptrend is played out. Everything's telling you that there's a short here. Basically, one of the best signal bars you can get for a short. So if you're talking yourself out of what is clearly a red arrow short, then what it means is that you're allowing the emotions to dictate your behavior versus feeling the way you feel but taking the trade anyway. So there's a confidence problem there. So my guess would be that usually the way that you deal with this is you trade on demo for a while and take every single setup that you think is a good setup, and it builds your confidence. My guess is maybe you're a little over leveraged or something. That could be possible. I don't know if you're trading on demo or not. If you're trading on demo and you're still having hesitation there, then maybe you're trading with too large of a size and it's freaking you out or something. The other possibility though, the most likely situation is probably that you took losses recently. And if you took losses recently, then that can sometimes lead to being overly conservative and having a lack of confidence. So you have to work on letting go of what happened before, because every trade is unique. You can't allow the baggage from previous trades to come in. So I think that's what it is. Yeah, that definitely will have an effect on your emotions, because that's like trading with regular money. So yeah, I think that's probably what it is. That's probably what's happening there. And I don't know, like I guess I could see what you're saying about potential congestion. It is tight there, but I think overall it doesn't really look like it to me. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like you could argue that like this is starting to look congested. So I mean, you could argue that. And if you feel like that, then just don't take the trade. Don't take the trade because I see what you're saying. I didn't see it like that because I saw this. I don't have it drawn, but I saw this almost like a little micro channel with a closeout side new high and then an equal high basically being a lower high. Short-term trend line playing out. That's how I saw that. Okay. All right, so wait, I missed a few comments and questions, so let me look. All right, someone said 1043 Eastern. Is that this? Yeah, that's this candle. All right, so you're talking about this guy right here. Let's just draw a little arrow pointing to it. You're talking about that candle right there. So, okay. So this was to Sean Farrow. You asked about, you said you took a loss today. At this time, taking a second entry short. Are you still here? Let me know. Yeah, okay. So, all right, cool. So let's take a look at this trade. So if you look here, if you enter one tick below the bar, that's going to be right here. Now, I wouldn't take this trade. The reason I wouldn't take this trade is actually two reasons. So the first reason is that there's a short-term uptrend, and the uptrend is still in play. So you can't go short while the uptrend is still in play. That's the first reason. Second reason is that even if you did want to go short, when you get this bar that doesn't trigger the order, you can't take the trade because you have an inside bar congestion possibility. If it doesn't fill you on the next bar, if you put your stop order here after this one closes and this one doesn't fill you, you just cancel the order. You don't let it fill you anyway. Now, even if you did let it fill you, it would have been a one tick failure. There you go. There you go. So I see why you would have taken a loss there. If you went for 4 ticks, you might not have gotten filled. But yeah, anyway, there's no trade there for those reasons. So yeah, you can't take the trade if the next bar doesn't do it. that's what I said earlier about this one. If you remember when I was talking about this trade here, if you waited for this, if you didn't enter this on the engulfing bar, there's not actually a trade there. Because if you look, this next bar doesn't fill you. So if you wait for this to close and you have your order sitting up here, one tick above the bar, and the next one doesn't trigger it, you have to just cancel the order because you might be getting congestion. That's what that signifies. It's too risky to take the trade if it doesn't fill you on the next bar. That's the way I look at it, because we're trying to take a trade with momentum. Yeah, for sure, Daryl. It's really a hard one, and if you're feeling like you had a bad day and it's spilling over and you just can't shake it, just trade on demo, or just don't trade at all. You just got to work on your personal routines and everything. It's a really hard thing. Like, I don't have an easy answer for it, but I can tell you straight up that, like, it's going to be personal for everybody and different for everybody. I try to do different things. Like, if I have a bad day trading, I try to do certain things, like go exercise, take my mind off things, maybe even take a day off. Like, sometimes I just, I don't really need to take a day off anymore. I'm like pretty locked in now. But it used to be like I would sometimes just take a day off or go back to demo or whatever I need to do to get my confidence right going into the next thing. Because you don't want to be thinking about your past trades in your current trades. Every trade has to be treated unique so that you can really follow the rules properly. Okay, I did miss a few other things. Where was it? Okay, online. Okay, so Paul, you asked about the orb strategy. Paul, are you still here? Let me know, Paul, if you're still here. You asked about an ORB, opening range breakout strategy with futures. I want to answer your question, but I want to make sure you're still here first, because sometimes people ask questions and then they leave and I'm not even talking to them anymore. So just let me know in the chat, Paul, if you're still here, and I'll answer your question. There is a second entry long forming here, but do you take it? You're sort of, again, you're kind of in no man's land. Like, yes, there's a second entry long, really nice signal bar forming, but you can't really take it because you're in no man's land. On a day like today, you got to be careful where you're taking trades. Just zoom out and look. You're not in an area that makes any sense to take a trade. You need to be off of one of the key entry points, one of the key levels that we have marked. You can't just take a random second entry. If you just start thinking that you can take random second entries, you're going to have a losing strategy. Second entries are just a pattern of entry, just like a triple test. They're a pattern for an entry based on the context. And the context here is that we're not off of an area that we want to take a trade. Okay, Paul, cool. So I don't trade breakouts at all. I believe that most breakouts fail. So basically, my belief in trading is that most breakouts fail. So when you have an area like this, right? Here, let me see if I can get my drawing tools. Give me 1 second. Hang on. I don't have my drawing tools open. Let me open them up. Shoot, what's the name of that? Hold on 1 second, everybody. Hold on. Hold, please. I'm getting my thing set up here. All right, I think I got it. Did it move? There it goes. Okay. We'll go purple. Okay, so when you have an area like this, right? Let's say you come in the morning and you've got like some overnight price action that has been kind of like this, right? And you're like, sweet, we got our range established, right? And then the price kind of opens here, right? Let's say the price opens here. You get a candle that looks like this. And this is the opening price of the price action. The opening range breakout strategy will tell you to have one order up here and one order down here, one canceling the other. So basically, it's like if the price action does this, it'll fill you and cancel this order down here. And then you're now in a long. Well, here's my problem. Most breakouts fail. So most of the time, even if this breakout is going to succeed, what'll happen a lot of the times is you'll end up with something like this, and then it will do this, you know? And it might go like this and go way up here and keep going, right? It might do that. It might. Whoops, my apologies. It might do that. Or it might completely fail. Come down. Try to break out the bottom, stop you out, then fail out the bottom, back into the range. And now we're just back in the range, right? This is really common. This is really common to see this happen. And when I say most breakouts fail, I don't mean they always fail. Like, they just sometimes fail. And let me close out of that tool because it's messing up my... Give me 1 second. I got to close out of the tool because it's causing a problem on my... Alright, sorry. It was making my chart, like, bright for some reason. Anyway, the point is, most breakouts fail. If we go look at a range, I'll show you this. Okay, here was a range earlier. Tried to break out, failed, came back in. Tried to break out the top, failed. Finally did go through the bottom. Here, let's go look over here. We originally probably had, this was kind of a failed breakout. This was kind of a failed breakout. Up here, same thing. You try to go long up here, you're going to take a loss. Try to go short down here, you're going to take a loss. The way I look at it is, if you try to take breakouts, you're probably too late. You're probably too late. So that's the way I look at it. And even if a breakout succeeds, a lot of times it fails temporarily before it succeeds. It's rare that you just have a breakout of a key zone and it just completely just keeps going. And so I don't know. To me, I don't think it's a great strategy. Some people like it, but definitely, like, your mileage may vary. If it works for you, that's amazing. Just don't listen to me. Do what works for you. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of any sort of breakout. I assume that most breakouts are going to fail. So what I actually do is take the other side of those. So if we have an opening range that starts to break out, a lot of times I think that it's going to fail, and I wait for a confirmation of a failure pattern, and I take it in the other direction. And then all the people trading the breakout, I'm on the other side of their trade, taking it the other direction as they all get stopped out. Now, that's the way I trade, but, you know, to each their own. Everyone here, please smash up that like button. We got 20 likes. We're going for 50 today. We're ambitious today. We're ambitious. So hit the like button. Help us get there. Let's get the stream out to more people. Second entry was here, but again, I told you it was no man's land. You don't want to take this. And if you did take it, you'd be sitting in this, probably not filled. You might be getting filled. All right, so you get filled there on the scalp. But I just don't think it's a good setup, so I'm not going to mark it. The ATR is pretty low right now. Barely enough to get a 4-tick scalp. So we've definitely slowed down quite a bit. The other thing, Paul, is that I trade with a 2000 tick chart. Can't do this on TradingView. You have to use like NinjaTrader or another platform for it. Oh. I don't know what's up with the lighting today. I forgot to put one of my curtains up, so I'm looking all red. It's just the way the lighting is today. If you got questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Price action is moving a bit slow, but that's okay. Give me 1 second. I gotta minimize things for just a moment here. Okay. All right. Never mind. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, Matt, but I just don't think it's a good idea. I did get some sun. I am more tan than I was, but for whatever reason, here, let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll put the curtain up. All right, that might make it better. All right, that is looking a lot more normal now. I think that that's better. Maybe it's not that different. I am more tan than I was, but I'm not burnt or anything. All right, so Matt, I didn't see the comment before you deleted it, but there is a second entry there. But again, just look where we are. We're just in no man's land. We already got a close outside new high of that uptrend. This is a close outside new low. So could you take it? Yeah, you could, but it's not really off of any level that makes any sense to me. So I just don't think it's worth it. Like there's nothing telling us for sure that it's going to go higher here. And you can see that it did make the scalp, but now it's coming down lower. Maybe there's a higher low. What I'd be more interested in is seeing if like we start to form a low here and maybe get some sort of triple test, something like that. That might be a little bit more, feasible. But right now it's just not looking like anything. Yeah, Paul, I just don't... Look, opening range breakout strategies are one of the most simple trading strategies that exists. But, like, they're not only are they simple, but they're literally easy to implement, even for a bot and an algorithm. Because of that, it makes it not really that good of an idea, in my opinion. Because we know if there's a strategy that's super easy, like add 4 indicators to your chart, and when A, B, C, D are correct, you take a long or a short, right? If there's a strategy that's that easy to do, then it would be coded into an algorithm, and it would probably not work super well. The reason that the trading strategies that I use work so well is because there's a major level of discernment and subjectivity that comes into reading a chart. And nobody wants to hear that, but it's true. Now, I use like objective rules that have very specific standards, but like trendline rules and range rules and all these other things. However, there's a subjectivity to how I draw a trend line. And if I do see it as a close outside in a new low, or if the trend is wider and that sort of nuance, and that comes with experience, but it can't be coded. And so because of that, it works really well because it requires manual discernment. And my strategies are based on psychology. Opening range breakout strategies are based on rolling the dice that it may go higher or lower without really knowing, right? That's why I think breakouts are bad strategies overall, because when price starts to do what it's doing right now, if let's say this candle closes really bearish, well, if you go short, like that is crazy, because like, let's say you go short below this. Let's say you get a really bearish candle and you go short. Well, it's like, where's your stop loss go? All the way up here? All the way up here? Like, that's crazy, Where's your target? All the way down here? That's also kind of crazy to me. Like, or you're trying to get a scalp? Well, the scalp, it's already moved really far. So I just don't think that it's a very wise strategy because the price has already moved really far. Same thing with people who just trade random pullbacks. Like, what a lot of people will do is they'll wait for a push out and then a pullback, and they'll just drop a limit order somewhere. Well, that's risky too. Like, how do you know that the price is going to hit the limit order and then go down where you think? You have to have confirmations. Yeah, your account is your stop loss. Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't really make sense to me, the breakouts. That's the same reason that I get annoyed by the people that do the whole, like, and I'm not going to go into it too deep, but the whole, like, the fair value gap people that think that, like, oh, well, price left a fair value gap, so then we're going to take a short from that fair value gap and all this stuff. It's like, look, that might work sometimes, but if price is going down and you just have a random short limit order sitting somewhere like this, and then, like, you wait for the price to come up and tap it to get you into the short, well, who's to say that it's not just going to keep going up right there? You don't have any confirmation that that's a good idea. So I just think that those types of strategies are wild. You want to trade with the momentum. Breakouts aren't necessarily trading with the momentum because you're entering at a spot where you don't know if the momentum is going to continue. You're entering at the extreme. You don't have like a good confirmation. You don't have a couple of legs. that shows you a reversal setup, a pullback that then confirms in the other in the continued direction. None of that. So I just think that that it's just risky, and I think that most of the time when I talk to people who trade the orb, when they come on my stream, they say that it works maybe 50-50, which, like, if you can do that with like a risk reward that works for you, then maybe that is fine, but not for me. Not for me. I don't want to lose half my trades. No way. Not good for my psychology. Just doesn't work for my personality at all. People that trade those styles where they lose like half their trades, it's not for me. I can't do it. I don't like it. You can call that a limitation on me if you want. I don't care. It's just not, it doesn't fit my style. It doesn't fit my personality. This was that level from earlier that I had as our previous range lows. We just closed right below it. Or right at it, I mean. So let's see what it does. Let's get some more likes, fam. We got 35 people here and only 24 likes. Everyone hit that like button. Hit the subscribe. We need 8 more subscribers to get to our goal today. We need 26 more likes to get to our goal. We're pretty far off from it. We got our live stream coming up in about 30-ish minutes. That'll be the YouTube Q&A. Or not, sorry, YouTube. Zoom Q&A. That's for people that are members of the paid school community. If you want to join that, just go to the link tree or the description to get to the paid school community. It's $99 a month. And then if you join before 10 a.m. Pacific, then you'll be able to go into the calendar and you'll see this weekly live right here, and you'll see the link to the Zoom and you can join. And it's always a good time. Always a good time. I think today, what I'm going to spend some time talking about is... I'm going to spend some time today talking about tilt. I'm going to spend some time talking about psychology. So on that call, I'm going to spend some time talking about tilt, psychology, recovering from losses, being overly conservative. Basically, some of the questions that Daryl asked me earlier in the stream, I'm going to basically make a lot of the call about that. Because I want to make sure that we talk about it. Now, I cover it a lot in the course already, but... you know, over time, like maybe I'll say something a little differently because I'm going to go off like the top of my head, the way that I feel about it, how I deal with things, some of the things that have worked for me. So I'll go over a lot of that stuff and it will become a section on psychology all on its own. And that's the cool thing about my price action course is that over time, as we get new things that we cover, like whenever I do like a webinar style masterclass on one of those Zooms, we add it to the course. Sometimes if there's just like a session that was so good that I think that it's worth putting in the course, I'll put it in the course. And it becomes like a course that just keeps evolving, which is really cool. So over time, you're getting more and more out of it. And also, one of the cool things that we recently implemented that I think that's pretty sweet now is we have the Freedom Collective. So for anybody who joins... once you're in here for 90 days, you get access to the Freedom Collective. And this is for anybody who's in here for 90 days, or if you upgrade to an annual membership because it just shows commitment. And then you get access to another premium Discord channel. Your Discord username changes to a different color. That way people know that you're someone who's been in the group for longer. And we're going to start having a call once a month with those people. So that call is on the 18th of September. So there will be people that can join that call. It'll be a separate call that we do once a month. I think I have it scheduled right now for like the 3rd Thursday of every month or something like that. And basically it's just going to be like a collective of people that have been doing price action trading for longer and have more commitment to it because they're not someone who just joined for a month, right? Because a lot of times, like people who just join for the first month, they're still learning. They might not have a lot of experience. So it just gives us a way to kind of connect with other traders who are really in it over a longer period of time. So really excited about that. Excited for the first call for that to come up. It was just kind of an idea that came to me one day. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So Some of you, I've recently upgraded you to that. As I notice, whenever I notice that someone's been in for 90 days, I just hit the you get it automatically, but then I add you to that section of Discord. All right, let's see. So this level is coming into play a little bit here. You can see what happened here. Close outside, new low, second leg to a new low. Possible higher low could form here. Possible. But it doesn't look like it right now. It looks like it's going to try to go lower. Maybe it's going to come all the way down to that range low that we drew, and this previous level is not going to be that significant. That's why I did move that range low down. I'd be more interested in any sort of longs off of these levels down here versus where we currently are. Sorry, I'm just checking something real quick. If you got questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. All right, everybody, smash up that like button. Smash it up. We got 29. We're going for 50 today. I think we can do it. We haven't had a 50 like day in a while, but I think we can do it. Matt, you only take second entries and only second entry longs above the EMA and second entry longs. I think you meant second entry shorts below the EMA with the right type of candlestick. With that last second entry long, would I say that because there wasn't a support or trend line, it's a no? If you're talking about this one, it's not above the 21 EMA, it's below it. It closes below it. So, and then this is not a second entry. This is a first entry here from this high. But the second entry was below the 21 EMA. So I don't think that you would take that. I mean, technically you're entering above the EMA, but the candlestick itself closed below the EMA. But also, the EMA is a minor tool. It's a minor tool. And when the EMA is sideways, you're kind of in a range anyway. Like, taking second entries above the EMA or below the EMA is only makes sense if it's a trend. Right? If it's like a range day, the EMA isn't really there. Yeah. I mean, this is not above the EMA. It's below it. It closes below it. So if I'm going to take an entry, I like it to close at or above the EMA if I want to take if I'm taking it on the right side of the EMA. Today wasn't a trend, really much of a trend day. It was more of a range day. So it's not really what I was looking for on any of those. Like, I think on all of my trades today are on the wrong side of the EMA, quote unquote wrong side, right? Like this short is above the EMA. These shorts are all above the EMA. This long is below the EMA. This long is below the EMA. So every trade setup I saw is on the wrong side of the EMA. But that doesn't matter because mean reversion is a factor, right? If you're far away from the EMA, you're probably going to come back to it. The EMA is just as important for exiting a trade as it is for entering a lot of the times. Like if you're far away from the EMA and you get a setup, usually it means you're probably going to snap back towards it. That's kind of like just a mean reversion principle. The way that I look at it though is if you're trying to take longs above the EMA, that's like good on a trend day. But we're not always getting trend days, right? Or like if you had like this downtrend here and you had a nice second entry short, Like, for example, this one here that didn't work. If this did fill you below this, it'd be a little bit better. Now, of course, this isn't a good setup because the uptrend. Pretend there's no uptrend here, and this was a two-legged pullback to the EMA, and let's say maybe the key entry point was there. Then, like, yeah, it's below the 21 EMA. It's nice, like, whatever. But we didn't get a setup like that. This one is a good example. We had a first entry, second entry short. Now, if this was a good signal bar, that would be a below the 21 EMA, second entry short off a key entry point. That's the kind of thing that you'd be looking for there. But you don't get a ton of those, you know, like, especially on a range day, you know, like, that would mean if you were following that rule, I don't think you'd have any trades today, actually. This first second entry one, I didn't even mention that. That was also on the wrong side of the EMA. So I don't think if that's what you're doing, Matt, you probably don't have any setups today. But there's a lot of setups today if you're following all the price action rules. Yeah, I think that you're right, Project Panic. When you're getting a bunch of setups on the wrong side of the EMA, it's a mean reversion style range day. Because all that a range is a mean reversion type day, right? If you have a range that looks like this, you're going long off the lows and short off the highs with the intention of ping-ponging back and forth. It's mean reversion, right? Like, you're taking trades at the extremes to ride it towards the other extremes and exit portions of it near the middle. So you're exiting near the mean. Your EMA is probably mostly sideways. And it doesn't really come into play as much. But if it's a trend day, you know, and you're trading a trend, you're looking for pullbacks to keep riding it higher, right? Like, let's say it's an uptrend. You're looking for two-legged pullbacks off of the lows to ride it higher. It's sort of mean reversion in that you're trying to ride it up back towards the highs, but a lot of times it's like the mean reversion principle is you're entering on the pullback, which is like the mean reversion where you're entering, versus like entering at an extreme and relying on the mean reversion to fill your take profit. So it's kind of a different principle. On a trend day, the mean reversion is actually your entry. On a range day, the mean reversion is actually your exits. So it's a little bit of a different principle. Hopefully that makes sense. I've never really explained it like that, I don't think. But that's part of how I think about it. And I don't know if that's helpful to people, but maybe it is, because a lot of people think in terms of mean reversion or trending. But really, like, mean reversion comes into play on both trending trading and on range trading, just in different ways. Yeah, Matt, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think if you add triple tests to your trading, you're going to have a lot more setups. What I would do if I was you, Matt, if I were you, I would document or at least mark areas where you think there's a trade setup that's not on the side of the EMA that you'd usually take it, and just mark them up and see how often they're working based on the strategy. That's what I would do if I were you. That will help you. You don't have to actually take the setups, but you can mark them and just see. Start to observe. Everyone here, please smash up that like button. We're trying to get to 50 likes. We got a long way to go. We still need 20 more. We're trying to get 6 more subscribers to get to 5760. Those are our 2 stream goals. Let's see if we can do it. We're coming down right now. We are almost at the lows. So I'm going to say this original blue line did not really come into play. So we can probably just remove this now and just play off of this range low that I drew. So let's see. Let me see if I understand your question. Adding the triple test. So if you're in a trend, if you have a second entry, it depends on what else is a factor, Matt. Like, if it closed if it came off of the bottom of the trend line, then it's off the key entry point. I don't really care about the EMA that much. I care more about the trend line. If it didn't though, and you're taking a trade near the EMA, but it hasn't come off the actual bottom of the trend line, then you're probably not wanting to take that if it closes below the EMA on a trend day like that, because it's like if you're in like a wider channel. This is a short, but like if you're in a wider channel, I don't have a good example because it's not a trend day, but like you're in a wider channel, you don't come all the way to the key entry point to take the trade. The EMA is your minor key entry point, and if it closed below that, then it's not a good sign a lot of the time. Yeah, I mean, I look at the close. I look at the close more so than the wick. Yeah. Especially in ranges and stuff too. Like the close is really important, not just the wick. That's how I see it. Because it's the last battle of the candle where it ends up, you know? It helps you see the momentum. We're almost to this level. Let's see. All right. We are there. So now we have this level that we've tested here. Let's see if we can close inside. If we don't close inside here, then my next target is the low of that pre-market news. And then after that, it would be yesterday's close, which is all the way down here. That would be pretty remarkable if that does happen. I don't know, man. That's a pretty big... Oh, we did close below. So let's see. We need to draw a channel here, just because this looks like a channel on its own. Pretty steep. Pretty steep. Something like that. It's kind of its own separate channel. We can draw off of this high and see if there's something there. There might be, but we don't have any real confirmation. Like, you could maybe... Nah, there's nothing like that, I don't think. So we just look at it like this for now. We might get a failed breakout still. That is a new low. So, new low for the regular session. We haven't been this low since the pre-market way down here. So let's see. We're coming towards that level now. See what we get. There we go. That's a tap of the level. Tap of the level. There's a failure here, but I don't think you want to short that. I just don't think it's a good idea. Oh. Pretty bullish candle. See what it does. See how it closes. Could be a big failed breakout. It tapped that level. That was a target. Yeah, perfect tap. Is it going to engulf this bar? It might. Nope. Nope. Closed inside the channel. So that's interesting. Now you just have to really wait. I was thinking maybe if this gave us a really bullish one and closed back in, you might get a failed breakout with a higher low possibility, but didn't happen. Didn't happen. And I'll probably wrap up the stream here soon because I'm going to get ready for the call with the paid community here in a moment. Looking forward to that Zoom call. Always a good time. So this is going to give us the close outside of the channel, it looks like, depending on what this candle does here. And then we'll expect a possible new low there. Now, you know, that was 2 big legs down. But I still think we'll probably get a new low. after that move. It was pretty aggressive. Man, it might even close back inside still. Surprising, to be honest. Or at least close. Wow. So there's definitely some sell pressure coming in here. I think they're trying to fill that gap. They've been trying. It's pretty common to see this. When you get a big news release, a lot of times the whole move gets taken back at some point. And that's basically what happened. We just took back the whole move, you know? That's what tends to happen. All right. I'm going to wrap up the stream, everybody. I know we didn't get to our targets today, but that's okay. It's going to happen. I'll schedule tomorrow's stream. I will let everybody know that we're back in the school year now, so I got a little bit of a slightly different schedule a couple of days of the week. Not a big deal. I'm still going to be streaming, but the streams for Thursdays and Fridays are mostly going to start at 9 a.m. Pacific time instead of 8:30 a.m. for now, or around 9. Hopefully, and I might be a few minutes late sometimes and whatnot on Thursdays and Fridays for that because it's like has to do with the way the school schedule is around here and drop off and all that. But I will be scheduling tomorrow's stream for 9 a.m. Pacific time, and there's a solid chance that I really won't be here till like 9:05 or 9:10 or something like that. But just letting everyone know that. You'll see that for Thursday, Friday streams. It'll be slightly different. No big deal. Just letting everybody know. Letting everybody know. That's why it'll be scheduled slightly later. All right. That's pretty much a close outside and a new low. I mean, I don't know that you drag this over. You could argue that it's still in play right here. I mean, you kind of could argue for this. That, like, you could argue that the trend is like this and it's still in play because it's pretty much still going lower. There's nothing telling me this is going to reverse here. We now breached that low. So that's interesting. So we do have this target way down here. We'll see what it does here. I'll leave it where I had it, which is like this, but it's not super convincing. This is where I had it. Something like that. Not super convincing. So let's just see what it does. That level might come into play. You don't want to long it yet, though. You would need like some sort of a higher low type of setup here. You don't want to just pick a bottom like that. All right, I'm going to wrap up here, everybody. I appreciate the time. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing everybody in the Zoom call. Again, if you want to join that Zoom call where we're going to go over a lot of trading psychology stuff, just go to the link tree or the link in the description. You can join the school community, and then you can join it in about a little less than 15 minutes. We'll be starting. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you all soon.